What's good, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Today I will be giving my semi-final predictions for the college football playoffs. We got Texas versus Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, I believe. And then we got Notre Dame versus Penn State in the, I know it's in Miami, I believe it's the Orange Bowl. Orange Bowl if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna give my predictions on both the games. Starting off with the Notre Dame Penn State game. We got two defensive juggernaut teams. We got two teams that got some dogs on defense that can get after your quarterback, and they got help in the back end with their safeties and their corners. So those are two teams. I expect a defensive battle in that game. I don't expect a high scoring game at all, especially when you look at Notre Dame's offense. Notre Dame has had plenty of high scoring games. It was against lower level competition, but they can put points up if you let them, because they will run through your face. And Riley Leonard is a better quarterback than people give him credit for. He does have his moments where he slips up a little bit, but for the most part, he's able to be a good game manager, and he's a great leader of men. So you can tell the team rallies behind him, and him having that confidence of the team believing in him makes him a better player as well. So Notre Dame can definitely put points up on you, but I worry going against Penn State's defense, will they be able to do that with Penn State and their ability to get after the quarterback with players like Abdul Carter, the rest of the defensive line. They got some dogs on their defense, man. Penn State can play. And the thing about Penn State, though, it's basically the same team when you look at Penn State and Notre Dame. There's two teams that got a great defense and an offense that doesn't really scare you, but they can put points up on you if you take them lightly. So Penn State offensively, they can run the ball. They're a better team when they're controlling the run game. If you have to rely on Drew Allen to win you a game, I don't know if he can do that. The same can be said for Riley Leonard. If you got to rely on Riley to win you the game, I'm not sure if he can actually get that done. Especially Jeremiah Love, he went down towards the end of that game. So I'm not sure if he'll actually play in this next game. Hopefully he does. I hate to see teams not at their full strength, even though both teams have experienced injuries, and that certainly isn't an excuse. I would love to see Jeremiah Love play. He's one of the most dynamic players in college football. He's definitely going to be next year in the Heisman race, in my opinion. So I would love to see him stay on the field and be able to play in this next game. But with that being said, my prediction for that game is Notre Dame will handle Penn State and will win the game going away, in my opinion. I just don't think Penn State is a good enough team to handle Notre Dame's run, and I don't think Notre Dame has anybody that's gonna make mistakes. Like, I think Penn State, Drew Allen will make mistakes that Riley Leonard won't make, in my opinion. And you might say I'm wrong for that. You might think Riley Leonard is a not very good quarterback. I beg to differ. I think he does exactly what he needs to do to get the wins. He's a perfect game manager, and that's all he really has to do for a team with such an elite defense like Notre Dame. So I believe Notre Dame will just take care of the ball, and then will cause turnovers for Penn State, which will allow them to win the game. I say score prediction for Notre Dame, Penn State. I'm gonna go 21-6. 21-6. I think Notre Dame will have the lead 13-6 for like the majority of the game, majority of the second half. They'll score one more touchdown. Well, I'll say 20-6. So they'll score one more touchdown at the end of the game to make it a nice, a nice 2-possession lead. But yeah, 20-6 is my score prediction for that game. Notre Dame will win that game, in my opinion. Moving on, let's talk about Texas versus Ohio State. Texas, Ohio State. I believe Ohio State is the more talented team. Not only are they the more talented team, they're the hotter team. They're playing great football right now. Texas was just in a dogfight with Arizona State. Arizona State, they proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. I thought they were going to get blew out. They had a chance to win that game if they didn't get, if that targeting was actually called, because that was clearly targeting. That was a horrible no call by the refs. If they would have called that targeting, we might be saying Arizona State versus Ohio State. But that's all in the past. Arizona State certainly had more chances to win after that, and they didn't get it done. Texas did. So we got a Texas versus Ohio State game. Texas has to face a red hot team in Ohio State. I believe Texas has great corners. Texas probably has the best defensive back room in the country, in my opinion. With that being said, I still don't think they're good enough to guard what Ohio State has at receivers. When you talk about Jeremiah Smith, when you talk about Emeka Egbuka, when you talk about Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, I mean, it's just a spoil of riches over at Ohio State in that receiver room. So when you look at that, if they try to take away Jeremiah, they'll probably give up some to Emeka Egbuka, let him get going. If they try to take away both, you can't. But if you try to, Carnell Tate is really good too. So you really can't decide between who you're gonna give up, who you're gonna let go off, because they all are able to go off. You know what I mean? You can't just say, I'm gonna force Jeremiah Smith to beat you. He will beat you. You can't say, I'm gonna force them to not give it to Jeremiah. Emeka Egbuka is the one who's gonna have to beat me. He can beat you. So you can't just take away one or the other. You're gonna have to play defense, and you're gonna have to really guard straight up, in my opinion. And that is in favor of Ohio State. I just think Ohio State has too much offensive firepower, and their defense is, truth be told, the defense is a better unit than the offense, especially if you look over the whole season, the whole entire season. Besides the first time they played Oregon, the defense has been playing lights out, and you saw what they just did to Oregon in their last game. So that's what Ohio State is working with. When you look at Texas, like I said, they have great defensive backs. Offensively, they're very, I believe offensively they have spurts. So they'll give you a nice drive here and there that's like, oh my goodness, nobody can stop them. And then, you know, it'll go 15 minutes or a whole quarter, and they're just, you know, meh. Nobody's really getting into the end zone. Nobody's really getting to the red zone. The receivers can't get open anymore. They can't establish the run anymore. So they have their spurts where they're up and down, and they're inconsistent. So if you see a Texas team that is on fire and ready to go, it will be a great game. It'll be a great ball game. But if you see a Texas team with those little spurts, it just won't be enough to handle what Ohio State's going to do to them offensively. Now, Quinn Ewers, he will have a lot of extra motivation, being that he was at Ohio State previously to Texas. So that would be a great game to see him come back to the school he was formerly at and see how he can perform against them. You also have great receivers on Texas, and an offensive line. You know, they're okay. I'm not really impressed by their offensive line, but they have just great skill players, and they have a overall great team. You can't say that their team isn't a good team. It will, if all things go according to on paper, it'll be a great game, but Ohio State will win. But in my opinion, I don't think it's going to go to on paper. I think Ohio State's defense is going to completely shut down Texas, and I think the offense will just continue to be on lights out. I think the offense will continue to play lights out football. And with that being said, I have Ohio State winning this game in a handedly fashion. I would say the score prediction, I'm going to go 35-17 Ohio State. I'm going to go 35-17. It'll probably be 7. I'm only giving 17 because I feel like towards the end of the game, they're going to score a few, you know, maybe a field goal, a touchdown here or there. So I'll go 35-17. Ohio State will always have the lead. They'll always be in control of the game, and they're going to win handedly. So that's my score prediction. That's who I believe will win. I believe Ohio State and Notre Dame will be the two teams facing off in the national championship game. Let me know if y'all think I'm right. Let me know if y'all think I'm wrong. Let me know who y'all got in the national championship game. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.